Sunday to find out who will start for the Dolphins as they face the Bengals. Tua Tagovailoa continues to make progress with his injured thumb, but he was limited in practice so far this week as he shares reps with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Brian Flores today on naming a starter.
I would say every player in this league that's played a significant amount of snaps is dealing with something, and you try to work through it. And that's what Tua's doing. That's what a lot of guys on our team are doing. And we'll see how it goes, over the course of the week. It's Thursday, and I know you guys want to know right now if he's playing, if he's not playing, But we still got 2 days of practice here, and like always, we're going to make the best decision for the team.
Brian, we all want to know. NFL insider Adam Schefter and Monday Night Football's Louis Riddick joining us now. Adam, what more can you tell us about when Tua could be back on the field?
Well, let's look at the clues from last week, Kevin, right? He was limited or didn't practice and then was downgraded to out, I believe, on Saturday. Already, we're 2 days into this week. He's been limited both days. You want a young quarterback taking as many reps as you can. You don't need to rush him back into practice and into the lineup before he's ready. So to me, they're going to proceed with caution. Again, I think he's getting closer and closer to being ready. But it seems like right now that in this particular matchup, they are more comfortable with Ryan Fitzpatrick right now until they feel like Tua is fully healthy.
All right, Louis, now, the Dolphins have one of the wild card spots in the AFC. So how should Miami balance Tua's playing time and his development while trying to secure a playoff berth here in December?
Well, I think, look, they've been in the hunt for a playoff berth for a while now, and they had made the switch to Tua knowing that anyway, and they still felt as though he gave them a reasonable chance, or maybe even the best possible chance to go ahead and realize that potential and go ahead and get a playoff berth. So I don't think that I think they believe he is the guy who is going to lead them in the short term and the long term. I just think that right now, look, you have to take Brian Flores for his word in terms of when he says, I have to do what's best for the football team. If Tua is not quite ready to go physically and Ryan Fitzpatrick is 100%, then I understand him holding Tua out. I don't think it has anything to do with concerned about his developmental arc or being displeased with how things are going with him. I think it's strictly a function of they don't think he's healthy enough to really realize his full potential on the football field right now. So I think everything is all systems go as far as how they feel about him, looking at this from the outside in. And this really is just a function of, is he able to do all the things he needs to do as far as throwing the football, or can he not? And as Adam just alluded, if he right now is sharing reps with Ryan Fitzpatrick, then that leads you down the path of believing that they're just not comfortable putting him in there yet, and they should go with Ryan. Simple as that for the short term.
We will see how this plays out the next 48 hours, and more to come with Louis and Adam ahead here on SportsCenter.
Still to come.
Our top headlines this Thursday after LeBron's big contract news Wednesday. The Lakers got more good news today as Anthony Davis agrees to a 5-year, $190 million max contract. Not a bad week for the reigning NBA champions. College football, unbeaten's BYU and Coastal Carolina will face off Saturday after Liberty pulled out of the scheduled contest with CCU due to COVID issues. So number 13 BYU was off last week, didn't have the game scheduled until December 12th, but they are going to play. In the NFL, Steelers linebacker Bud Dupree will miss the rest of the season. Adam Schefter reports he tore his ACL in yesterday's win over the Ravens, so Pittsburgh can have his hands full trying to replace the 8 sacks Dupree has racked up this season. And news on Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow. He had surgery for the multiple ligament tears in his left knee that he suffered November 22nd. The Bengals say they expect the number 1 pick in this year's draft to make a complete recovery. Finally, the league has reinstated Seahawks receiver Josh Gordon for the last 2 weeks of this season. He was suspended indefinitely last year after 5 previous bans, 4 of which were for substance abuse. And just like that, we are off for the next hour here on SportsCenter leading up to college hoops here on ESPN.
Today we're going to start in the NBA a day after locking up LeBron, the Lakers making sure Anthony Davis is staying in L.A. long term, and Hollywood's got their 2 stars. The NBA champs continue to have the best offseason in the league. The 27-year-old Davis, a leading man, agreeing to the largest deal in Lakers history. How about $109 million over 5 seasons? It's tied for the third largest contract in NBA history, behind only Russell Westbrook and Steph Curry. More importantly, with the Lakers, they've locked in the Brow and the King for 3 more years together. They're the first pair of teammates to make first-team All-NBA since Steve Nash and Amari Stoudemire in 2007 with the Suns. And the move continues a rich history in LA of keeping superstar talent as Davis becomes the 4th Laker all-time to sign a contract worth over $100 million, joining the exclusive club of LeBron, Kobe, and Shaq. And before locking up the 2 biggest pieces on the big screen, the Lakers making sure they added plenty of firepower with the supporting cast. They acquired Dennis Schroeder from the Thunder on November 15th for a first-round pick in Danny Green. Schroeder finished second in the Sixth Man of the Year award behind Montrezl Harrell, who signed with the Lakers. The former Clipper agreeing to a 2-year deal along with Marc Gasol to come to L.A. Adrian Wojnarowski joining us now with much more on this story. Woj, considering AD is approaching his prime, why did he choose the max of 5 years as opposed to a shorter 2- or 3-year deal here?
Kevin, doing the longer deal hit on some more elements, some key elements that were important to him. Number one, guarantees him that $190 million. Remember, he has an option after the 4th season. So he'll be 32 years old and be able to go right back into free agency with, presumably, if he's healthy, could get another max contract. And now he's aligned with LeBron James under contract. He's actually under contract for 1 more year than LeBron. But he and his agent, Rich Paul, they had to make a lot happen to get from New Orleans, to get the trade to the Lakers. They won a championship, and I think it just made sense to him to make that longer commitment. The Lakers is where he wants to be.
He's come full circle here, getting that long-term deal, also a ring. Woj, hang tight. Sage coming right back to you on a big trade you broke last night, Sage.
Yeah, this trade that's sending former league MVP Russell Westbrook to the Wizards in exchange for the 5-time All-Star point guard John Wall. Both players had recently made it clear to their soon-to-be former teams that they wanted to be moved, and they'd both get their wish. Wall leaving D.C. after a decade, Westbrook leaving Houston after just 1 season. Here's Rockets' new head coach Stephen Silas.
If it weren't for Russell Westbrook, I probably wouldn't have this job. So the fact that he vouched for me in the interview process was one of the first things that I thought of when the trade was made. The second part of it is how dynamic John Wall has been in his career and some of the nightmares that I've had trying to defend him. I'm looking forward to him coming, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the team looks like.
Back now with Woj for more on this blockbuster trade that, again, you first broke last night. Let's start with Houston, because the questions now have to turn to James Harden, right? He's told the team he wants to be traded to the Brooklyn Nets. Silas said today he's trying to give Harden his space. So, Woj, how will this Westbrook trade impact Harden's situation?
I mean, here's the thing, Sage. The Rockets don't know. They hope that what they hope for is John Wall regains his all-star form that he finds after being out for 2 years, and that he can find a chemistry with James Harden. The one thing the Rockets have going for them is Harden is under contract for 2 more years. That gives them a cushion, allows them to buy some time here for Wall to try to get back and work his way back into a high-level playing shape. But they have never wanted to trade James Harden. They have wanted to keep him. They're hoping that maybe a reemergence of Wall's career helps to make the case, but they don't know for sure that it will.
Yeah, almost exactly 2 years since he's played an NBA game. It'll be interesting to see how long it takes him to potentially get back to that form. As for Wall's soon-to-be former team, the Wizards, Woj, why do they think Westbrook will fit alongside Bradley Beal better than John Wall did?
Well, start with this. He wants to be in Washington. He wants to play with Bradley Beal. And Scotty Brooks, his old coach from Oklahoma City, is excited to coach him again. And I know this about Russell Westbrook right now. He has been very bothered by the discussion around him in the last month's year about the kind of teammate he is and criticism that he's taken. He's felt from people that he has not been a great teammate. Those who played with him would tell you differently. I think he feels very strongly about what a loyal teammate he is, how he worked to fit in Houston, and I think he's very determined in Washington to make it work, to be a great point guard for Bradley Beal. Remember, he could be a free agent after this season. Washington wants very much to keep him there long term. Russell Westbrook will be a key to that.
Beal and Wall just never were able to live up to their potential, it seems, in D.C., so we'll see if Westbrook and Beal can do just that. Remember, the season begins in exactly 19 days, December 22nd. Woj, thank you.